Good morning and happy Friday, everyone. Another exciting day in the world of crypto, and we're here to break down all the major stories for you. I'm joined by my co-host today to discuss the top news that's moving markets and shaping the future of digital assets.
That's right. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you with some huge announcements and developments across the crypto space. One of the big stories we're focusing on today is the world of artificial intelligence and its growing connection to crypto.
Exactly, and one of the key players in that space is Hugging Face, the open source AI platform that's just been named Emerge's 2024 Project of the Year. What an incredible journey this company has been on, from its humble beginnings as a chatbot app to its current status as a go-to hub for open source AI.
It's amazing to think about how far they've come. By 2023, Hugging Face had already reached a valuation of $4.5 billion, following several successful investment rounds. And now, as we head into 2024, it's clear that this project is going to continue playing a major role in shaping the future of AI and its applications.
One of the things that's really interesting about Hugging Face is the way it's become an indispensable resource for researchers, developers, and businesses alike. The platform's open source approach has facilitated collaboration and innovation on a massive scale, and we're seeing the results of that play out in all sorts of exciting ways.
Absolutely. And as we explore the intersection of AI and crypto, it's clear that projects like Hugging Face are going to be at the forefront of that conversation. We'll be diving deeper into this story and its implications for the crypto space throughout the episode, so be sure to stay tuned.
Another area we're going to be exploring today is the growing connection between crypto and the world of art, fashion, and entertainment. Decrypt's new hub, Scene, is a great example of this, and we'll be discussing some of the exciting developments happening in that space.
That's right. From NFTs to blockchain-based gaming, there are so many fascinating ways that crypto is being used to create new experiences and opportunities in the world of art and entertainment.
And as we look ahead to the rest of 2024, it's clear that this is going to be a major theme to watch. The intersection of crypto, AI, and creative industries is going to be a key area of innovation and growth, and we're excited to be covering it all here on the show.
So let's dive in and explore some of these stories in more depth. We've got a fantastic lineup of topics and guests to share with you, and we can't wait to get started.
As we discussed earlier, the integration of AI with blockchain technology is changing the landscape of the crypto world. Building on what we discussed about the potential for AI to revolutionize the industry, I'd like to dive deeper into a related story.
That's right. I think our listeners would love to hear about the rapid rise of OpenAI, a company that's gone from relative obscurity to tech stardom in a remarkably short period. Their story is nothing short of a Silicon Valley soap opera.
Absolutely. At the beginning of 2024, OpenAI was in turmoil following the dramatic return of Sam Altman. But fast forward to today, and the company has transformed into an AI powerhouse worth a staggering $157 billion. That's a remarkable turnaround, especially considering they started as a cautious nonprofit organization.
The numbers are mind-boggling. With a $13 billion investment from Microsoft and a deal to power Apple iPhones, OpenAI is on track to generate $11.6 billion in revenue. It's no wonder they're being hailed as the company to beat in the AI space.
It's a game changer, no doubt. And as Decrypt's art, fashion, and entertainment hub Scene noted, OpenAI's rise to the top reads like a script from a Hollywood blockbuster. But what does this mean for the other players in the AI space? Is it game over for them? Or is there still room for innovation and competition?
Well, I think it's a bit of both. On one hand, OpenAI's dominance is certainly a significant hurdle for other companies to overcome. But on the other hand, the AI space is still relatively young and evolving rapidly. There's always room for new ideas and innovative approaches to shake things up.
That's a great point. And as we've discussed before, the intersection of AI and blockchain technology is an area that's ripe for exploration. Perhaps we'll see new companies emerge that can challenge OpenAI's dominance and push the boundaries of what's possible in the AI space.
Exactly. The story of OpenAI's rise to the top is certainly compelling, but it's far from the only chapter in the AI saga. As we move forward into 2024, it'll be exciting to see how the landscape continues to evolve and which companies will emerge as the next big players in the AI space.
And as we were discussing earlier, the ongoing cases against Do Kwon and Terraform Labs have taken a dramatic turn. Now it seems like Do Kwon's fate has been sealed. Montenegro's Justice Minister, Bojan Bozovic, has given his approval for Do Kwon's extradition to the United States.
That's right. This decision comes after a long battle between the U.S. and South Korean governments, both of whom have been seeking Do Kwon's extradition. If you recall, various courts in Montenegro have ruled in favor of one country or the other, but it seems the Justice Minister has made the final call.
It's interesting to note that Justice Minister Bozovic chose to extradite Do Kwon to the U.S. rather than South Korea. This could indicate that the U.S. has a stronger case against Do Kwon, or perhaps there are other factors at play.
Exactly. Do Kwon is facing a slew of charges in the U.S., including allegations of securities fraud and conspiracy. If extradited, he could face severe penalties and fines. On the other hand, South Korea has also been actively pursuing Do Kwon's extradition, citing his role in the collapse of Terraform Labs and the subsequent losses suffered by investors.
Speaking of which, the collapse of Terraform Labs and its stablecoin Terra USD has had far-reaching consequences for the crypto industry as a whole. We've seen increased scrutiny from regulators and lawmakers, and many are calling for stricter regulations on stablecoins and other crypto assets.
That's right, the Terraform Labs saga has been a wake-up call for the industry, highlighting the need for greater transparency and accountability. As we move forward, it's likely that we'll see more regulatory action taken against companies and individuals who fail to comply with existing laws and regulations.
Building on what we discussed earlier about the need for regulatory clarity, it's clear that the crypto industry is at a crossroads. On one hand, we have innovators and entrepreneurs pushing the boundaries of what's possible with blockchain technology. On the other hand, we have regulators and lawmakers trying to keep pace with the rapid evolution of the industry.
It's a delicate balance, to say the least. But as we continue to navigate these complex issues, it's essential to keep the conversation going and to encourage collaboration between industry stakeholders and regulators. Only through open dialogue and cooperation can we build a more sustainable and equitable crypto ecosystem.
So we just wrapped up our discussion on how Ethereum's transition to proof of stake is impacting the overall crypto market. Building on what we discussed about institutional investment, it's interesting to see how Bitcoin fared this past year, especially with the long-awaited introduction of Bitcoin ETFs.
Yes, it's been a wild ride for Bitcoin. The Securities and Exchange Commission spent a decade rejecting proposals from top asset managers to offer a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. But that all changed in October, when the first Bitcoin ETF was approved.
That's right. It was a major milestone for Bitcoin and marked a significant shift in how the SEC views crypto. The approval of the ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF opened the floodgates for other ETFs, with several more launching in the following weeks.
And it's not just the ETFs themselves, but what they represent. They offer a more traditional way for investors to get exposure to Bitcoin, which has helped to increase adoption and drive up the price.
Speaking of price, Bitcoin reached an all-time high in November, topping out at over $68,000. It was a remarkable run, especially considering the volatility we saw earlier in the year.
That's true, and it's worth noting that the price wasn't the only thing that was volatile. Bitcoin was also used as a political football in the U.S. elections, with several high-profile politicians weighing in on its legitimacy and potential uses. Herchak Queso.
Yes, it's clear that Bitcoin is becoming more mainstream, not just as an investment, but as a cultural phenomenon. We're seeing it being used in art, fashion, and entertainment, as highlighted by Decrypt's Scene Hub.
Exactly. Bitcoin is no longer just for tech enthusiasts and investors. It's becoming a part of the broader cultural conversation, with artists, designers, and musicians exploring its potential uses and themes.
And as we look back on the year that was for Bitcoin, it's clear that it's been a year unlike any other. From technological advancements to historic milestones, Bitcoin has solidified its place as the world's largest crypto.
And as we head into the new year, it will be interesting to see what's next for Bitcoin. Will we see continued adoption and growth, or will new challenges arise? One thing is certain, it will be exciting to watch.
You know, it's interesting. Earlier in the show, we touched on some of the biggest regulatory battles the crypto space has faced this year, and I think it's worth revisiting that topic as we close out today's episode.
Absolutely. I think one of the most telling moments was when SEC Chair Gary Gensler testified before lawmakers on Capitol Hill back in September. The tension was palpable as he clashed with House Financial Services Committee Chair Patrick McHenry over the issue of regulatory clarity.
That's right. And what struck me was Gensler's insistence that the laws are clear, citing the Supreme Court's rulings on the matter. But McHenry and others have continued to push back, arguing that the SEC's stance on crypto is anything but clear-cut.
It's a debate that's been raging all year and one that's had significant implications for the crypto market. We've seen numerous enforcement actions, fines, and even lawsuits filed against various crypto companies and projects. And yet, despite all this, the SEC still hasn't provided a clear framework for crypto regulation.
Exactly. And it's not just the SEC. We've seen similar confusion and uncertainty from other regulatory bodies around the world. It's created a kind of regulatory limbo where crypto companies are left to navigate a complex and often contradictory landscape.
Which is why it's so important to stay informed and up to date on the latest developments. As we've discussed throughout the show today, the crypto space is constantly evolving, and regulatory clarity is just one piece of the puzzle.
So, as we look ahead to the rest of the year, what are your key takeaways from today's stories? What should our listeners be keeping an eye on in the coming weeks and months?
Well, for one, I think we can expect more regulatory battles like the ones we've seen this year. The SEC and other agencies will likely continue to take a hard line on crypto, at least until there's more clarity on the legislative front. At the same time, we're likely to see more innovation and growth in the crypto space, particularly around areas like DeFi and NFTs.
And what about the market outlook? Do you think we'll see a rebound in the coming months, or is this downturn here to stay?
It's tough to say for certain, but I think we're due for a bit of a correction. The fundamentals of the crypto market are still strong, and I think we'll see a resurgence of interest and investment in the space once the regulatory landscape becomes clearer.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you all on the next show.
And don't forget to check out Decrypt's art, fashion, and entertainment hub, Scene, for all the latest on the intersection of crypto and culture.
Until next time, stay crypto savvy.